and welcome to QU All Access. I'm Courtney Gear.
And I'm Ryan Snyder. In this week's show, we'll get an update on some of Governor Rauner's future plans.
And we'll be looking into a big change to the men's soccer team.
Topping our news this week, the rising costs of college tuition and the competitive job market are causing many students to question whether or not getting a college degree is worth it. According to the New York Federal Reserve, the national student loan debt has reached a staggering total of more than $1 trillion. Even with the growing student loan debt, studies have shown that a college degree is worth the cost. A study done by the Pew Research Center shows that college graduates significantly out-earn those with just a high school diploma. The study found that full-time salary of workers from the ages of 25 to 32 who have a bachelor's degree make roughly $17,000 more than those with just a high school diploma.
My mom got her associates and that was it. She always talked about how she wanted to do more, and I feel like the more education you get and the more money it goes with, I think that's definitely something that whenever you go into a job interview, they look at that as number one, as see how much education you're having.
You might have heard your parents say it, I worked my way through college, but is that a feasible option today with rising tuition costs? QU All Access takes a look. Last week, Schools.com released an article that calculated the wage students would need to earn in order to fully pay for 1 year of college. To be more realistic, it assumes that students put 20% of their earnings towards their education. The study compared public and private colleges and gave examples of schools with varying tuition prices. Gordon State College's tuition is around $3,500 per year, which means that for a student working 40 hours a week, they would need to make about $8.44 per hour, which is about minimum wage. But what about a university with a similar tuition as QU? The average tuition cost for an incoming student is around $37,000. The closest tuition cost on the list is Harvard University, priced at around $44,000 per year. In order to pay for 1 year at Harvard, a student would need to work 40 hours per week at $105.62 per hour. After figuring the calculations, I found that in order to pay for 1 full year at QU, a student would need to earn $88.95 per hour at 40 hours a week. This includes only 20% of each wage going towards your tuition. If 100% of your wage goes toward your tuition, you would need a minimum wage of nearly $18 per hour at 40 hours a week. Although these numbers may seem intimidating, it does not take into account financial aid, loans, transfer students, living off campus, or other factors. We encourage students to visit the financial aid office for more information on scholarships, loans, and other information. 2 students who work on campus shared their thoughts on the article and the importance of working while in school.
Having a job on campus really helps us with credit card bills, car insurance, cell phone, rent, food, because we both don't have on-campus meal plans, so it really benefits that way for us.
I think it does help you appreciate the scholarships, the financial aid, everything like that a lot more. It also is very frustrating to see how unrealistic it would be to work and pay your way through college, especially at a university like Quincy.
For students looking for on-campus work, the Career Services Department sends out emails and posts about available positions in the Student Success Center.
As you explore more about your career, internships are essential to advancing in your field. While searching for internships, students often come across the question whether or not to accept a paid or unpaid internship. Candidates often lean towards paid internships, but unpaid internships can be just as rewarding, and students should not be quick to rule them out.
Some view it as it shows that you're being eager if you go for an unpaid internship, but in most cases, if a company really wants you to work for them, they'll find some money, whether it's a small stipend or maybe they will pay for your academic credit or something like that, that they would make it worthwhile for you to be there working for them and adding to their company goals and projects and such.
Derek, what are we doing out here today?
Some QU students found themselves in the middle of traffic last week, but don't worry, it was all for a good cause. QU All Access reporter Adam Longo has more on the Delta Tau Deltas fundraiser.
Derek, what are we doing out here today?
So we are a Delta Tau Delta fraternity here on campus. We're raising money for our philanthropy, which is a Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. So we're calling it Fill the Wagon. So we're trying to fill, our wagons at the intersections up with as much money and spare change as we can for the cause.
Okay, so after you're done collecting all the money, where are you going to donate it to?
It's all going to JDRF. So everything we raise will go down to there.
And that's Juvenile
Diabetes Research Foundation.
Awesome. Where else are you doing this throughout the city?
So we've got 18th and Chestnut here, and then we're also at 18th and State down by TCBY.
Okay, awesome. How long have you been doing it today, and when will you go till?
We started at 10 and we'll go till 4. So we're already, I don't know what time it is now, right about 1 o'clock, and we've already raised at this intersection close to $600. So we're doing really well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're getting close. Our goal is right around 1,000, so I think we'll hit that pretty easily.
Okay. That's awesome. Well, we thank you for your time today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Together, both intersections raised a total of more than $4,000, exceeding the original goal of $1,000.
QU Media is turning to one of the oldest mass mediums to give students a new form of entertainment. Hawk Radio is Quincy University's new online radio station run by communication students. The station will officially launch on November 13th and feature popular music and original student and faculty programming. Station manager T.C. Purcell is excited about what the station has to offer.
Playing today's hot music, cool music, we're going to be having original student-created content like radio shows, sportscasts, music review shows. I think we're even going to have some comedy shows.
Students can log on to hawkradio.com or download the Live 365 app on their phone to tune in to Hawk Radio. Coming up on QU All Access, we'll take a look at Governor Rauner's plans for the Illinois budget.
And how new technology isn't just a thing of the future. Stay with us.
Yes. Growing up, I had one deaf friend, and that was the only deaf person I knew before coming to school here at QU. And now I regularly get to hang out and socialize with the deaf community, which has been awesome. Sign language isn't exactly like learning another spoken language because you use your body, facial expressions, your hands are your instruments. So it is definitely learning a new language. It has its own grammar and syntax and everything. It's not exactly like English like a lot of people think it is.
Welcome back. Last week, QU All Access told you about budget problems in Illinois and Governor Bruce Rauner's visit to Quincy. Governor Rauner discussed changes within the state budget, but almost 5 months into a budget impasse, Illinois leaders still can't agree on a final solution. A number of state agencies such as 911, colleges and universities, even local health departments are having trouble keeping the doors open because of a lack of funding. CNN's Holden Kerwicki has more.
This is unique in my experience, and it is not a good experience.
Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner vetoed a budget passed by the Democratic leadership in the summer because it featured a $5 billion deficit and required him to raise taxes.
We need to have a budget, but we can't just put a massive tax hike on the people of Illinois and think that we're going to solve this problem. That will not solve our problem. We've got to get a true balanced budget.
While Rauner says he's willing to work with the opposition, he's focused on his turnaround agenda.
What we need to focus on is workers' comp reform, tort reform, property tax relief, term limits on elected officials, and redistricting reform. That's what we're pushing.
During the impasse, court orders mandating state employee pay have cost taxpayers $8.5 billion.